Imagine two men living 50,000 years ago. One is respected. The other isn't. One speaks and people listen. The other speaks and people ignore him. One gets first access to opportunities. The other gets whatever is left. One finds a mate. The other dies without children. Fast forward thousands of generations. Guess whose genes are sitting inside your body right now? Not the man who didn't care. Not the man who shrugged and said, "Status doesn't matter." The people who left descendants were often the people who paid attention to where they stood in the group. And that ancient obsession is still running inside your brain. Even now, that's why a promotion feels good. Why losing followers feels bad. Why being admired feels rewarding. Why being ignored feels painful. And why someone else's success can sometimes feel like your own failure. For a species that claims not to care about status, humans seem strangely obsessed with it. We notice who earns more, who looks better, who gets more attention, who has more influence, who gets chosen, who gets ignored. And what's strange is that we do this automatically. You don't wake up in the morning and consciously decide to compare yourself to others. Your brain starts doing it before you've even noticed. But why? Why would evolution create a species so concerned with rank and status? Because for most of human history, status wasn't about ego. It was about survival. Today, status feels abstract. Followers, likes, job titles, luxury cars. But for our ancestors, status had real consequences. Imagine living in a tribe of 150 people. Food is limited. Danger is everywhere. Resources are scarce. In that world, being respected mattered. People listened to respected individuals. They trusted them, supported them, shared with them. High-status individuals often had stronger alliances, better access to resources, more mating opportunities, more protection during conflict. Status wasn't just a social reward. It was a survival advantage. And survival advantages tend to spread through generations. Over thousands of years, natural selection favored brains that paid attention to social standing. Brains that constantly asked, "Where do I fit? Am I rising? Am I falling? Am I respected? Am I becoming invisible?" The result was a species that became extraordinarily sensitive to status. Not because status feels good, but because status once improved the odds of survival. And once that system evolved, changed everything. Because status isn't something your brain measures directly. Instead, it measures you against other people. Comparison became the tool. Status became the goal. Your ancestors didn't compare because they were insecure. They compared because comparison helped them estimate where they stood within the group. Who was stronger? Who was more respected? Who had more allies? Who had more influence? Who was becoming important? And who was being left behind? For thousands of generations, this system worked remarkably well. Then the modern world arrived, and everything broke. Your brain evolved to compare itself to perhaps 150 people. Instead, it now compares itself to billions. A hunter from 50,000 years ago might compare himself to the best hunter in his tribe. Today, you compare yourself to the best athlete on Earth, the richest entrepreneur on Earth, the most attractive influencer on Earth, the most successful musician on Earth, the smartest scientist on Earth. The comparison system was never designed for this. Imagine giving a calculator the job of controlling an entire city. It might work for a while. Then it becomes overwhelmed. That's essentially what happened to your brain. An ancient status detection system suddenly found itself exposed to endless competition. And because of that, the game can never be won. No matter how successful you become, someone is richer, someone is smarter, someone is stronger, someone is more attractive, someone is more famous. The finish line keeps moving, which explains one of the strangest facts about human behavior. Success doesn't eliminate status anxiety. Often it increases it. A millionaire worries about billionaires. A celebrity worries about bigger celebrities. A champion worries about the next champion. The higher people climb, the more competitors they see. Because the ancient brain isn't searching for enough. It's searching for position. And position is relative. This creates a problem. A very modern problem. People begin chasing status signals instead of actual value. They chase appearances, tension, recognition, prestige. Not because these things necessarily improve life, but because ancient circuits in the brain still interpret status as survival. And yet, something important changes when you understand this. You begin to see that comparison is not revealing reality. It's revealing ancient programming. Your brain isn't calculating your worth. It's estimating your rank. Those are very different things. Worth and status are not the same. A person can have high status and low character. Low status and extraordinary character. Status measures position. Worth measures something entirely different. Once you understand that distinction, the comparison game starts to lose its grip. Not because comparison disappears. It won't. The system is too old, too deeply rooted, too useful throughout human history. Your brain will continue scanning for status. Continue noticing differences. Continue making comparisons. That's what it evolved to do. But now you understand what you're looking at. An ancient survival mechanism. Not objective truth. Not a measure of your value. Just a tool that once helped your ancestors navigate life inside a small tribe. The strange thing is that the modern world constantly tells us to be the best employee, the best entrepreneur, the best athlete, the best creator. But evolution never required your ancestors to be the best. Only competitive enough. Only respected enough. Only connected enough. The goal was never to outrank everyone. The goal was simply to avoid being left behind. And perhaps that's the biggest misunderstanding of all. Humans don't compare themselves to others because they're flawed. Humans compare themselves to others because for thousands of generations, the people who ignored status often disappeared. And the people who paid attention survived long enough to become your ancestors. The comparison is ancient. The obsession is ancient. The status game is ancient. And every time your brain measures itself against someone else, you're hearing the echoes of a survival strategy that began around a campfire tens of thousands of years ago.